Thank you very much. Me again welcome you to MedZone African Motifs. So we are still on economic and management sciences. So now we are on economic and management sciences, grade 8. We are going to do paper 2. So it's still term 2 revision. We're still revising and preparing for the upcoming exams that you're going to write in June for term 2. So the test that you're going to write on June for term 2, remember our previous presentation, we did EMS grade 8 paper 1. So now we are on paper 2 of it, and we are preparing ourselves with the question paper that was written in Limpopo province. So it was written on 9 June 2025. So that is that. So the total marks for this paper is 50 marks. So the duration of it is 60 minutes an hour. So you have to take an hour to write this paper. So that is that. It is a mid-year controlled test. So let us go to the instructions and information. Let us be on instructions and information. So here are our instructions and informations. As it says, this question paper consists of 3 sections. So we have section A. So types of questions that we are to expect in section A is that is the economy and entrepreneurship. So we are going to have multiple choice as well as true or false question. So all in all, the allocation of marks, so you have to get 15 marks, the total marks for that section. But section B, that is the economy. The type of question that you're going to expect there is the economy, the role of different government levels. So you're also to get 15 marks for that section. But for section C, that is an entrepreneurship. That is when you're going to talk about the factors of production, and you have to get 20 marks. And all in all is 50 marks total. So first instruction says read the questions carefully. Instruction number 2, write neatly and legible. So instruction number 3, you have to answer all the questions using the spaces provided. Hope we are together on that. So let's quickly go to our section A, question 1. So here we are on our section A, question 1. Section A, question 1, like we have said, is a multiple choice question. So that is that. So the first question says, which is 1.1.1, the process of developing goods and services to satisfy needs. So we are given these 4 options: standardization, remuneration, employment, and production. So the correct answer there is production. The correct answer there is production. So that is D. D is the correct answer. So we know production is the process of making goods and services to satisfy the people's needs and wants. For example, a bakery making a bread for customers is involved in production. So that is why we're saying the correct answer is production. 1.1.2, the central government is led by. Then we have A, president; B, premier; C, the municipal manager; and D is the chief justice. So the correct answer there is A, the president. The correct answer there is A, the president. So the central or national government is led by the president of the country. So in South Africa, the president leads the national government. So that is that. Let us be on 1.1.3. Which of the following is an example of unskilled labor? Which of the following is an example of unskilled labor? So we have accountants, we have doctors, we have electricians, we have cleaners. So the cleaners is an example of unskilled labor. Cleaners is an example of unskilled labor. So the correct answer there is D. So meaning to say, unskilled labor refers to workers who do not need special training or qualifications to perform their jobs. Like we are saying, cleaners, sweeping offices usually does not require professional training to do that task. So that is that. So now let us be on 1.1.4. Which of the following is not responsibility of the local government? Is not responsibility of local government. We have provision of water and electricity, payment of social grants, controlling traffic, provision and maintenance of streets in the residential areas. So now we want to know the correct answer there. So the correct answer is B. The correct answer is B. So we are saying B is the correct answer. Social grants are paid by national government, not local government. Payment of social grants are done by the national government, not local. So we're talking about SASSA grants are managed by the national government, not local government. So that is always in our correct answer there. Is B, is the one that is not responsibility of the local government. So let us be on 1.15. Which of the following is the leader of judicial branch of the government? So we have deputy president, we have premier, we have chief justice, we have auditor general. So the correct answer there is C, chief justice. So we are saying chief justice. So that is that. Chief justice. The chief justice is the head of judicial branch of government. So that is that. So we know the chief justice oversees courts, ensures justice is applied fairly. So that is that, good people. Let us go. Let us move on. Now we are on 1.2, whereby we are going to be on true or false. So 1.2 is all about true or false. So the statement. So 1.21 says, all the national resources are renewable. Is it true or is it false? All resources are renewable. So the correct answer there is false. It's what? It's false. Some natural resources cannot be replaced once used. Coal is a non-renewable because it takes millions of years to form. So that is that what you say is false. 1.22. The central government gives money to regional and municipality to provide services to households. To provide service to households. So the correct answer there is true. True is the correct answer to 1.22. The national government provides funds to provinces and municipalities to help deliver service. For example, money may be given to municipalities to improve roads and water supply. So that is why we're saying the correct answer there is true. So let us be on 1.23. Households sell labor to both business and government. So that is true. That is true. That is true. Households sell labor to both business and government. The answer is true. People work for businesses and government departments in exchange for wages. For example, we can talk of a teacher works for the government and earns a salary. So that is that. So now let us be on 1.24. Unskilled labor is highly trained in a specific jobs. So we want to know whether it's true for the 1.24. So it's false. 1.24 is false. That is false. Because it says unskilled labor is highly trained in a specific job. It's false. So highly trained workers are called skilled labor, not unskilled labor. So that is that. That's when we talk of doctors, engineers are skilled workers because they receive special training, not unskilled laborers. So that is that. Ward councillors are elected leaders of the provinces. Ward councillors. That is false. That is false. Ward councillors work in local municipalities, while provinces are led by premiers. So that is that. So ward councillors are elected leaders and of the provinces is false, because ward councillors are elected leaders of provinces is false, because they are in local municipalities. So that is that. Now let us move on to a matching question. Let us be on matching question. Let us be on matching question. So it says merge the concept, that is 1.3. Merge the concept in column A. These are the concept in column A with the most suitable explanation in column B. That is column B with explanations. And write a letter of your choice in a separate provided for answer. So that is that we are on matching question. So let us start. with this matching question. 1.21, skilled labor. So we're going to look at the description that will be suitable for this concept, skilled labor. So if we can go through all this description, we can see now the F is correct. F is correct because it says skilled labor, those are workers that are highly trained in a specific job. So F is correct. So we are saying F is a correct answer. Now 1.22, we have inputs. Inputs. So now we have to go through all this and try to find so we are on goods. So we are going to look at the description that best matches what the concept input. So that is what we are going to do. So as we go through all these explanations in column B, we can see now the E is the correct answer for inputs. E, as it says, different things needed to make product or service. So inputs are resources needed to produce goods or services. For example, we can talk of flour, water, labor are inputs used to make a bread. So that's why we are saying different things needed to make product or service. So the correct answer there is E. The correct answer there is E. So now let us be on municipality, 1.23. So we want to know the explanations that do match this concept, municipality. So there, the correct answer under municipality is A. A is a correct answer. Municipality, district, town, or city in a local government. So a municipality is the local government responsible for towns and cities. So we can talk of Mahalakwena municipality provides local service to residents. So the correct answer for municipality there is going to be A. The answer there is A. When you're talking about district, town, or city in the local government. So now we have remuneration on 1.24, remuneration. So with remuneration, if you go to these explanations, you can see that the correct answer there is B. Payment for work done or service provided. So that is B. So we are going to have B as a correct answer. As you know, remuneration is the payment received for work done. For example, an employee receives his salary at the end of the month. So that is that. 1.25, semi-skilled labor. Semi-skilled labor. So semi-skilled labor, as we go through all this, you can see now the correct answer there is D. Semi-skilled labor. Workers with basic literacy, numeracy, and short history of training. So that is D. That is D 1.25. So semi-skilled workers have basic training and skills. So we can talk of a cashier who receives short training in a same-skilled labor. So that is that. So these are the answers for a matching question. So let us go to section B. Let us be on section B now. Let us be on section B, question 2. So that this is all about the economy, and we are to get 15 marks for this section and for this question in particular. So the role of different government levels, that is what you're going to look at. So 2.1 says, study the pictures below and answer the questions that follow. So that is that. So we have level A, we have level B, we have level C. So these are our pictures. So you can see, and level A, we have Mahalakwena, we have Mudimoholo, we have Bela Bela, we have Tabasimbi, we have also Lepalale, we have Lepalale. So here, level B, we have Limpopo, Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal, Free State, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, Northern West Province. That is that. But on a level C, we have Skukuni, we have Mopani, we have Vembe, we have Capricorn. So now let us now answer the questions that are going to be asked. It says, explain the concept government. Explain the concept what? A government. That is what we are asked to do. So we have to explain a concept, government. So a government is a group elected. We can say a government. Government is a group of elected people. Let me write it. A government, we are going to say a government is a group of elected people. It's a group of elected people, who manage and control the country, who manage and control the country, control the country for the benefit of citizens, for the benefit of citizens. So that is the government. For example, the South African government make laws and provide services. So that is for the benefit of citizens. So that is that. So 2.12, name 3 levels of government in the picture. So we're first going to start with level A. So level A there is a provincial government. When you talk about Umakalakwena, Mudimuholo, Belabel, all those are provincial what? Provincial government. So it is provincial government. Provincial government. That is level A. It's provincial government. So provincial government, you know, they manage services within province. For example, now we're going to talk about Limpopo provincial, manages provincial hospitals and schools in Limpopo. That is when we're talking about those Bela Bela, Mahalagwe, Tabazimbe, and all those things. But for level B now, it's what? National or central government. Level B is national or central government. National or central government. That is level AB. That is when you're talking about these provinces, Limpopo, Mpumalanga. This is the map of South Africa as a whole. So we know the explanation of the explanation for national or central government is all about the national government controls the whole country. That is, national government prepares the country's budget, for example. That is that. Level C now, this one was for level B, and now we are level C. That is when we're talking about Vembe, Mopani, and all those things. That is local government. Level C is local government. It's local government. So we know in local government provides service in towns and cities. You can talk of where municipalities collect reviews and maintain streets. That is local government. So let us move on with people. Now we are on 2.13. Which of the 3 levels is responsible for reviews, removal, electricity supply, and housing in cities and townships? That is local government. That is local government. The answer is local government. The answer is local government. Local government. That is that. So we know very well that local government provides services directly to communities. So they are the ones who are responsible for refuse removal, electricity supply, housing in cities and townships. So that is local government. 2.14. Which of the 3 levels is responsible for drawing the national budget? So here we are talking about what national government is the one. National government. National government. So national government is the one that is responsible for drawing national budget. So national government plans and controls country's finances. You can talk of, for example, the Minister of Finance represent the national budget every year. So that is that. Let us be on 2.15. Explain the concept of public service and give one example. Concept of public service and give one example. So public service are service provided by government to meet people's needs. So public service, we are saying public service are the services, as we are saying, we are going to say public services public service provided are provided by government to meet people's needs, to meet people's to meet people's needs, to meet people's needs. We are asked to also give one example there. We are asked to can talk of examples: healthcare, education, infrastructure, and security. So also can talk of government hospitals provide healthcare service. Now we can say example. So we can say example. We can say we can talk of government hospitals. We can talk of government hospitals. Government hospitals provide healthcare service. Provide health care services. They provide healthcare, sorry, let me write it nicely. They provide healthcare services. So that is that. That is the example that we can give. Also, you can talk of examples, you can talk of education, infrastructure, security. All those are the examples of public services. Hope you are together on that. So that is that. Let us move on. Let us move on with people. So now we are on 2.17. 2.17. Let us be on 2.17. So 2.17 says name three branches. It says name three branches of the central government and briefly explain their roles. And briefly explain their roles. So the first branch, we have a legislative branch. We have legislative branch. That is that. So legislative branch, we know very well that the legislative branch makes laws. They make what laws? Legislative branch makes laws. They enact laws. This branch enact laws. They make laws. Makes laws. So that is that. That is a legislative branch. Like we're talking about parliament passes new laws for the country. So that is that. So also we have executive branch. That is the second one. Executive branch. So executive branch uh, leads the country, or we can say they implement laws. Executive implements and manages laws. Executive implements or and executive implements and manages laws. And manages laws. So these are the role that is played by the executive. We can say they implement and manages laws. They lead the country and implement the laws. So we have the third one, which is judicial branch. Judicial branch. Sorry, judiciary branch. So judiciary branch. So here we didn't write branch. So here we are, judicial branch. So now judicial branch does what? They interprets laws and ensures justice. So judicial branch interprets. They interprets laws. They interpret laws and ensure justice. And ensure justice. That is the role that is played by judiciary branch. You talk of courts, you talk of courts, the courts punish people who break the law. So that is the role of the judiciary branch. So let us go, move on. Let us be on question 3 now. Let us be on question 3. Let us be on question 3. Question 3, that is factors of production. Then you are to get 20 marks for this question. So the first one here under question 3, section C. Remember, it is section C, and it's all about entrepreneurship. And you are to get 20 marks. So the first one is explain the concept factors of production. Explain the concept factors of production. Factors of production are resources used to produce goods and services. So you are going to say factors of production. Factors of production are resources used to produce goods and services. Are resources used to produce goods and services. These are the factors of what? Of production. For example, we can talk about a farmer uses land, labor, money, and skills to grow crops. So that is what we mean by saying that. So that is that. Now let us be on 3.2. Name and briefly explain the 4 factors of production. Name and briefly explain the 4 factors of production. So we are first going to start by natural resources or land. We are first going to start by natural resources or land. That is the first one that we are going to talk about. So with natural resources, these are all the gifts of nature that can be directly or indirectly used to satisfy needs. So we are saying these are all the gifts. These are all the gifts of nature. These are all the gifts of nature that can be directly directly or indirectly used to satisfy needs. Used to satisfy needs. So that is that. So we're asked to give the reward as well. So the reward for natural resources, we can talk of what? We can talk about rent, as you're talking about the land. That is a reward. So the second one is labor. Labor. So labor, we're talking about a mental and physical effort used in the production of goods and services. We are talking about mental and physical effort used in the production of goods and services. Used in the production of goods and services. So now we want the reward. The reward for that effort is what you are going to get, wages or salary. So that is that. Labor is the physical and mental effort used to produce goods and the services. So that is that. So now we also have what? Capital. We have capital. And when you talk of capital, you're talking about all the money and goods that are invested in the business so that production can take place. So with capital, we are talking about all the money and goods that are invested in the business. That are invested in the business. That are invested in the business so that the production can take place. So that the production so that the production can take place. So that is that. What is the reward for capital is interest. You're going to get interest on your capital invested. So that is that. So now let us be on the last factor of production, which is entrepreneurship. So we are in entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship, these are the skills and ability to combine land, labor, and capital in an effective and efficient way in the production process. So we are saying we are talking about the skilled. We are talking about the skills, sorry, the skills and ability, the skills and ability to combine land, labor, to combine land, labor, and capital. And capital in an effective and efficient way. In an effective and efficient way. In an effective and efficient way in the production process. In the production process. So now we want the reward for entrepreneur. So the reward for entrepreneur is profit. So that is that. Entrepreneurs, they start business or establish business in return for them to get what? To get a profit. So entrepreneurship is the ability to combine all factors of production successfully, and you'll be rewarded for profit. Because you know very well a business owner starts and manages a coffee shop for him or her to get a profit. So that is that with people. Sorry. So that is that. Let us move on. Let us move on. So now we are on 3.3. 3.3 says, differentiate between renewable and non-renewable resources and give one example for each. So now we're going to start with what? Renewable resources. We are going to start with renewable resources. Renewable resources. So let us be on renewable resources. So renewable resources, those are resources that can be replaced naturally after use. Those are resources that can be replaced once they have been extracted. So we are talking about resources that can be replaced. Resources, sorry, resources, sorry, let me write it. So we're saying resources that can be replaced once, that can be replaced once they have been extracted, once they have been extracted. So that is that. For example, we can talk of plants. Example, we can talk about plants. We can talk about sun water. We can talk about sun water. So that is that we are saying these are renewable resources. So resources that can be replaced naturally after use. Trees can be replanted after being cut down. So that is that, if we can talk of that as well. So non-renewable resources now, when you talk of non-renewable, those are resources that cannot be replaced once they have been extracted. So we are talking about resources that cannot be replaced, that cannot be replaced, that cannot be replaced once they've been extracted. So they cannot be replaced once they have been extracted. once they have been extracted. So these ones, they cannot be replaced. So now we have to give what example for that? So we have to give example. So example, we can talk of minerals, can talk of coal, can talk of soil. So these are non-renewable resources. They cannot be replaced once used. So we can talk of coal. Coal cannot be replaced within a short time. So that is that we're talking about. So this is the end of this presentation. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your time. So make use of this presentation as it is very important and it will help you for you to be fit enough to sit for this coming June test or exam. Thank you very much.